dear students of class 10. How are you? I hope you're staying safe during this pandemic and washing your hands regularly and maintaining the required social distancing norms laid out to you by the government. Stay safe and stay indoors because it's affecting a lot of people all over the world. So it's good to stay safe during this time. Well, guess what? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarvajna and I am going to be your new social studies teacher this academic year. Sarvajna Public School during this time has made your life easy by conducting online classes where all you gotta do is just sit at home, watch a few videos and learn. How cool is that? Well, I am going to be teaching you geography today, and the first lesson in geography, which is resources and development. Alright? Well, what are resources? Resources can be termed as those things which are used to satisfy our needs. For example, petrol, buildings, people, the sun, basically everything or anything which is used by us humans to satisfy our needs is known as a resource. Now, resources can be divided or they can be classified into four divisions. The first one is on the basis of origin, where did it begin or start from. The next one is on the basis of exhaustibility. Exhaustibility meaning those which are available to us humans, but which can be used up and it won't be available to us after that, alright? That is exhaustibility. So resources can be classified also on the basis of exhaustibility or how it is used. Resources can be classified, the third one here is on the basis of ownership. Who owns these resources? And the fourth way it can be classified is on the basis of status of development, meaning how is it used? How is the resource being developed and used? Alright, let's look at this individually. The first type of resource, and the resources are classified based on origin. So, on the basis of origin, there are two types. The first one is biotic and abiotic. Alright? What is a biotic resource? Resources which can be obtained from the biosphere and have life, or basically living things. These are known as biotic resources. Examples could be human beings, the flora, the fauna that we have, fisheries, and livestock like cattle, cows, and all those things put together. These are useful to us and comes under biotic resources when we segregate resources on the basis of origin. Okay? The next type on the basis of origin, meaning how it is originated, is abiotic or non-biotic resources. Now, resources that are all those things which are composed and made up of non-living things are known as abiotic resources. So the first type, based on origin, if it is a living thing, it is a biotic resource. If it is a non-living thing, it is known as an abiotic resource. An example for an abiotic resource could be rocks or minerals or the sun when it gives us so much of light and heat, that is a non-living thing, and it comes under this classification. It becomes a non-living thing or an abiotic resource. Understood? Let's move to the next one. Resources on the basis of exhaustibility. Alright? Like, what is exhaustibility? Exhaustibility means those things which are they are available to us human beings, which can be used up by us completely, and it is available to us only in a limited quantity. So we have a very little bit of this resource. I mean, this kind of resource, we have very little bit of it. An example would be petrol, coal, minerals found on earth. So all these things are available, but they are not freely available. They are exhaustible, meaning they can be used up, and at one point in time maybe we might not have them. It can get exhausted. That is known as exhaustible. Alright? And under or on the basis of exhaustibility, we have renewable resources and non-renewable resources. We will go ahead and discuss this in detail. Renewable resources. What is renewable? Renewable means something that we can get back. Alright? Renewable meaning it can be made into new again. Right? So on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable resources can be renewed or produced by a physical or a mechanical or a chemical process. Examples would be solar energy, wind energy, water, forest, wildlife in the forest. All these can, the wildlife in the forest, the animals can reproduce and also become more. Okay, so this can be renewed over a period of time, meaning we can get this back up. And this kind of resource is known as a renewable resource. Non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are those which take millions and millions of years in their formation, meaning for them to be produced, these resources take a very, very long time, sometimes millions of years. An example for a non-renewable resource would be petrol or coal or fossil fuels, minerals, etc. Now, what are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels such as coal or natural gas are formed in the geological part from the geological past. Alright, so on the earth these living things were existing and they moved on, they passed on. So fossil fuels are fuels which are got from the remains of living organisms. Alright? Living organisms, once they die and go into the earth, like the dinosaurs, and when they stopped existing, their bones and their whole body went underground, and these eventually, over a period of time, over millions of years, they became fossil fuel. Alright? And it is a resource to us human beings. Alright? These kind of resources are known as non-renewable resources. Those resources which take a very, very, very long time to form. Alright? Right. So the next way that resources can be classified are on the basis of ownership. Who owns these resources? We will look at it from an individual, community, national and international level. Who owns the resources on an individual, community, national and international basis? Let's go through this one by one. Individual resources. which are owned privately by individuals like you and me. In villages, farmers own land which is allotted to them by the government against the repayment of some money or revenue. Alright? Urban people like you and me, we own plots, houses, or other kinds of property. And some of you in your homes may have a well. And the well here, being the resource, which is water, would technically belong to you. Don't you agree? Because the well is in your house, you have invested money to dig the well which is inside your property, so technically that resource would belong to you. Alright? The next type is a community resource. Alright? Resources on the basis of ownership is divided into community resources. Now, what are community resources? Now, resources which are accessible to all members of a community. For example, a church or a temple or a mosque, parks which are there in your community. It can be accessible by everybody who lives in your community. A playground or a burial ground can also be an example of a community resource, alright? So resources which are owned by the community, meaning which can be accessed by the community. Alright, so on the basis of ownership, who owns on the national level? Alright, so let's look at it as a national level. National level, now technically, resources, all the resources that belong to a particular nation would be termed as a national resource. The country has the legal power to claim any rivers or land that is within its territory, right? It also has the power to claim some of the land so that it can do good for other people within the country. Alright? For example, let's take an example. You may have seen roads which are built by the government in between fields, or if you're traveling by train, have you seen the paddy fields on either sides of the train? The railway track has been built right between them, but right between the fields where agriculture is done. Alright? So when this happens, the government, for the benefit of people, they pay some money to the person who owns that land, or the farmer who owns that land, or they may give him some land at a different place, and they will build a railway line right in the middle of his field so that a lot of other people in the country can be benefited by it. And this is how national resources are termed. Now, there is one small bit of information that I need to give you with regard to national resources. Every country that is along the coastline, like how India we have a coastline, the country also owns the oceanic area around it. Right? Let me draw this and give you an example. Say this is a rough sketch of the southern part of India. So 12 nautical miles around this place, alright? 12 nautical miles, which adds up to, or gets calculated to 22.2 kilometers. 22.2 kilometers, alright? 12 nautical miles or 22.2 kilometers along the coastline of India. So this is all this part over here. 22 kilometers along the coastline. The area also belongs to that country. The country also owns the oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles or 22.2 kilometers from the coastline, as this is known as the country's territorial waters. So this country's territorial waters, and any resources that are available, be it fish or any other resources that can be got from this area, would belong to that particular country. Alright? And the next one is on the basis of ownership, who owns international resources? Now, resources which are regulated by international organizations, these resources do not belong to one individual country. Like, for example, the moon or the planet Mars and the ocean. Now, pay attention to the difference between national and international resources. In national resources, the country owns 12 nautical miles or 22.2 kilometers of the water around its territory. Alright? But you all are aware that the earth is made up of 3/4 parts of water and 1/4 part of land. So there are areas in the ocean which have resources but are beyond the country's reach. It's more than the 22.2 kilometers. Now, ocean resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone, meaning the part of the country, belong to something called open ocean. And no individual country can utilize these resources without the approval of international institutions. So there are governing bodies who determine who will be able to use that. Alright? So that falls under international resources. Now, it's classified under international resources. Now, on the basis of status of development, meaning how the resource develops, we have 4 subdivisions. The first one is potential, second one is developed, third one is stock, and the fourth one is reserves. Let's go ahead and understand this one by one. Potential. On the basis of status of development, the first point we have is potential. Now, what is potential? Potential is having or showing the capacity to develop into something really great in the future. Alright, so it has the capacity or the ability to develop into something that's great in the future. That is the meaning of the word potential. Now, how is this linked to resources? Potential resource. What is a potential resource? Resources which are found in a region but has not been utilized yet is known as a potential resource. Let's take an example. In the western part of India, particularly in Rajasthan and in Gujarat, Rajasthan having the desert and Gujarat as well, where it has a lot of wind power and solar energy. Wind power and solar energy can be developed. It has the potential to develop this energy from these places, but it has not been properly developed yet because the technology is expensive. Alright, so in the desert, although there's a lot of heat in the desert and we can use solar panels to generate energy from the desert, it costs a lot of money. Alright, so this is potential resource. Alright, the next type is developed resources. Now, these resources are currently being used by us human beings, you and me. These resources are surveyed and quality and quantity is determined. Okay, so a survey is done and it determines the quality of the resource and how much, the quantity of the resource as well, so that it can be used by us human beings. Coal, wood are some examples. Wood is a good example. Wood can be developed into like a log of wood can be developed into a table, a chair, a bed, or anything that can be made out of wood. Alright, let's move on to the next one. On the basis of status of development, the next point that we have here is stock. Now, resources have the potential, alright? Resources, just give me a minute please. Resources have the potential to develop and satisfy human needs, but we do not have the appropriate technology to use them. That is known as stock. Let's take an example. Water, H2O. Alright? Now water is comprised, it is a compound of two gases. Alright, so it has two gases, one being hydrogen and the other being oxygen. Now you've all heard of the hydrogen bomb and how much energy it has. It can destroy a lot of things around it. Alright, now this energy can also be used for our benefit. Hydrogen has a lot of energy as a gas. It can be used for our benefit and can be used as a resource to benefit us, but we do not yet have the technology to separate hydrogen from oxygen, although water is so freely available to us. Right? We don't have the technology yet, and that is why, on the basis of development, this is known as stock. Alright, we keep it as a stock. The next, until we go ahead and find some technology to separate this, and then we can go ahead and use it as a resource. Understood? Let's move on. The next one is reserves. Now, reserves are resources which can be utilized with the help of existing technology, but they are kept for our future requirements. Let's understand this better with an example. Think about a dam. The water that is stored in the dams are not used during the rainy season. They're stored during the rainy season, and in the drought or summer season, water from the dams are used as a resource so that humans can benefit from the water that's stored in the future or during the summer time. Now, all these points, let's take a recap. Now, on the basis, what is a resource? And these resources are classified into four bases. The first one is on the basis of origin. Where did the resource originate from? And they are biotic and abiotic. Biotic meaning living and abiotic meaning non-living things. The second one is the resources can be classified on the basis of exhaustibility. How soon will it get used or exhausted? Alright, under exhaustibility we have renewable and non-renewable resources. Resources which can be got back and resources which cannot be got back. Or resources which take a very long time to produce. Alright, the next point is on the basis of ownership. Resources on the basis of ownership are classified under individual resources, community resources, national resources, and international resources. The next way resources are classified is on the basis of status of development, meaning how is it developing? Whether it has potential, whether it is developed, it is stocked, or it is reserved. Alright, these are important points for you to remember. Your CBSE board exams could have a question. I've actually gone through a few question papers, and this is one of the questions that they may ask you as a long answer question. Alright? Define resources and classify them on the basis of status of development. Define resources and classify them on the basis of ownership, on the basis of exhaustibility, on the basis of origin. Alright? So this could be a 5-mark answer or a 7-mark answer that you could be asked in your exam. Please make sure you understand these points and know the kind of way resources are classified or segregated. I hope this video was interesting and you got to learn about resources and how they are classified. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, please do mention in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.